stained glass is a dying art. And you can see that it is a dying art. When we started our business in Las Vegas, Nevada in 1985, there were 12 studios in Las Vegas, and now there are 2. Jeff McCoy, with my wife Jane, we're the owners of Stained Glass Designs. We've been building windows as a business, as a partnership since 1985.
I mean, with my background as an art minor, and Jeff was willing to do the construction and fabrication, it was a nice blend. I never had to cut any glass, and he never had to draw anything. We're going to show you what we did for our home. The first thing I usually do is meet with the customer, talk to them, what they would like, see if there's a style they like. And what I did for myself is went online and found something that I truly caught my eye. So I took this particular stained glass window and used it to go with 6 windows that we have in our house. And what I do is take an idea, then I figure out the scale to it, and I use a 1:4 scale. I draw it up to scale, erasing, figuring things out. And after I draw it up to scale, I see what I have, do I like it? Usually for a customer, I always do a color rendition. After we came up with the scale drawing, I went to a full-size drawing, which is down here. And there's a couple of ways. Sometimes I freehand it, other times I'll take it to a copier and they'll do a full-size copy for me. And then I outline it in black, figure out the colors, and what I'll do is go through our magic little box here. And as I'm picking out colors, I'll number them, and then I correspond it to the colors in the drawing, and we have hundreds of colors. Customers will come and look at our glass supply and just start picking, and we try to limit them. It can be overwhelming to try to find a blue that you like when you're holding up 3 different ones.
Say right off the bat that I am not an artist. Jane is the artist. I would be considered a journeyman glazier. I build the things that she makes pictures of. As she said, by the time that it comes to me in a colored full-size rendition, it's sort of like paint by numbers, because I know that a number 1's there and a number 3's here. First thing that I do is put the picture down on the work table, and I end up cutting every single piece in color that's on here. You cut everything first before you start building, just to make sure that the customer usually comes over and has a look to make sure that they like what they've picked. After everything's cut, then all of the separate pieces are held together with lead came, C-A-M-E. It's 100% pure lead. It's very bendable. You can wrap it around pieces of glass. Comes in many different shapes and sizes. What's appropriate for your window. In this window, I used 3 different sizes of lead just for decoration and things. So what happens is I get it going and I put the lead around one side of it, like this, and then the other piece comes in here to hold this piece in this corner, and every single spot where the lines come together has to be soldered. I use, there's many kinds of solder. I use a product from Canada, and it's 50/50 solder. It comes in many different kinds. You use some flux, put it on the joint with your soldering iron. Just flux. And solder, you come over and you solder every joint. Once the whole window's done, I flop it over and solder the whole backside. So it's one solid unit at that point. But before, and that would be ready to put in, but before you do that, you do what we call glazing. And glazing is the process of filling in all the little gaps where the lead meets the glass. If this is your piece of lead and this is the piece of glass, it goes in like this, and you can see that it moves back and forth. So every glazier has their own recipe. I've been using the same recipe probably for 25 years, I guess. I pour it onto the window. You take a brush and you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, so all the little gaps are filled up. Then you flip it over and do the other side the same way. And then you use a polishing, you use a polishing brush after that and get off all the extra. And then it's time for it to dry and for installation. So you've gone from glass with silver to a finished product, glass, leaded, and glazed. I'm not an artist. I can't draw a straight line. And so it's a perfect partnership for Jane being a wonderful artist, and she can produce something that I can make into a finished product. So it works out really well. I can think of a couple of times maybe that we've disagreed on something, but it works out, figure it out, and whatever. So it works out well. I enjoy working with her.